When the Derby gates spring open, anything can happen. Since 2000, we've seen it all. Flashy million-dollar colts, long shots no one believed in, and finishes that left crowds gasping. Some winners became legends, others slipped quietly into retirement. But every one of them left a mark on racing's biggest stage. In this video, we'll take you through every Kentucky Derby champion since the turn of the century. We'll also show you where their journeys led after the roar of Churchill Downs faded. Let's kick it off at the turn of the century with a $1 million promise. In 2000, Fusaichi Pegasus strutted in with swagger. He strutted into Churchill Downs with the kind of swagger only a $4 million yearling could carry. With his proud frame, he was owned by Fusao Sekiguchi and trained by Neil Drysdale. Under Kent Desormeaux, he stormed home in 2 minutes, 1.12 seconds, the first betting favorite to take the Derby since Spectacular Bid in 1979. His career brought in just under $2 million before Coolmore secured him for a jaw-dropping $70 million stud deal, the highest ever. As a sire, he produced names like Roman Ruler and Haradasun. Fusaichi Pegasus retired in 2020 and lived at Ashford Stud until his passing in 2023. And just when the favorite lived up to the hype, a gray blur came charging to rewrite the clock. In 2001, Monarchos flew in. A dashing gray stallion foaled on February 9, 1998, he stood a solid 16.1 hands with a strong hind leg and friendly energy. He was bred by Jim Squires and raced under owner John C. Oxley, trained by John Ward Jr., and flown down the stretch by jockey Jorge Chavez. He blasted through the field to claim the Derby in 1 minute, 59.97 seconds, the second fastest in history behind only Secretariat, a smooth 1.72 million earner. He sired champions like Informed Decision before retiring to Claiborne and later Nuckel's Farm. His fans would drop by just to glimpse Mo grazing and toss him peppermints until his passing in October 2016 following surgery. Speed records aside, the next champ showed what happens when raw power meets fearless front-running. War Emblem was the winner in 2002. Dark as midnight and quick from the break, War Emblem was born on February 20, 1999, by Charles Nuckel's Jr. and Sons. He stunned Churchill Downs by seizing the lead early and never letting go, wiring the field in 2 minutes, 1.13 seconds. At 20-1 odds, Victor Espinoza guided him, while Bob Baffert trained him for the Thoroughbred Corporation. With a Preakness and Haskell win added, he closed out with $3.49 million in earnings. He was sold to Shidai in Japan for $17 million and sired a few notable foals like Robe Tissage. Retired to old friends in 2015, he lived out quiet days until his passing in 2020. From darkness and dominance, the stage shifted to an unlikely hero with a working-class heart. 2003 was Funny Cide's year. The chestnut gelding, born April 20, 2000, carried the hopes of a small syndicate. He stole the Derby at 13-1 under jockey Jose A. Santos for trainer Barclay Tagg and Sakatoga Stable. His winning time was 2 minutes, 1.19 seconds, the 10th fastest ever, making him the first gelding since 1929 to capture the Roses. A gritty crowd favorite, he thundered to a 9 3/4 length victory in the Preakness in 1 minute, 55.61 seconds. With career earnings of $3.53 million over 38 starts, he settled into retirement as a beloved ambassador at the Kentucky Horse Park, greeting visitors until his peaceful passing in July 2023 at age 23. The gelding's upset had fans roaring, but the next horse turned into a Pennsylvania fairy tale. Smarty Jones lit up 2004 with fire. Chestnut-coated and bred on Chappie Chapman's farm in Pennsylvania, Smarty Jones entered the world on February 28, 2001. He carried a quiet spark from day one. Trainer John Service and jockey Stuart Elliott guided him through a perfect prep season. That set up a 2 minutes, 4.06 seconds Derby win on a sloppy track. sweetened by the bonus for sweeping Oaklawn's Rebel Arkansas Derby and the Run for the Roses. He followed that up with a 1 minute, 55.59 seconds, record-setting Preakness romp, only to finish second in the Belmont. With earnings topping $7.6 million, he capped a memorable career before retiring in August 2004. Now a stallion at Equistar Farm in Pennsylvania, he continues to sire stakes winners and remains Pennsylvania's pride. Dreams of a triple crown faded fast, but then came an underdog who shocked the odds board. Giacomo shocked the world in 2005. 50-to-1 shots aren't supposed to storm home in the Derby, but Giacomo ripped up that script. The gray colt carried the colors of Jerry and Ann Moss, trained by John Sheriffs and ridden by Mike E. Smith. He stopped the clock in 2 minutes, 2.75 seconds, shocking Churchill Downs and handing his owners a record $1,639,600 purse. Over 16 starts, he earned more than $2.5 million and added the San Diego Handicap to his resume. Retired to Adena Springs and later Oakhurst Thoroughbreds in Oregon, he sired multiple stakes winners before stepping back from public stud duty. The 50-to-1 stunner was still sinking in when pure brilliance and heartbreak collided in the very next run. In 2006, Barbaro powered to the win. The relentless Barbaro burst onto the Derby stage with unstoppable power. He ruled wire to wire in 2 minutes, 1.36 seconds, guided by jockey Edgar Prado and trainer Michael Matz. Bred by H. Roy and Gretchen Jackson, Barbaro captured the nation's heart. His Preakness breakdown just weeks later turned his fight for survival into a cross-country vigil. Though his racing ended, his story didn't fade. After months of surgeries, he was humanely euthanized in January 2007. He rests at Churchill Downs beneath a bronze statue, a lasting tribute to courage and spirit. Over just 7 lifetime starts, he earned $2.3 million, forever remembered more for heart than numbers. Subscribe now and stay in the saddle, because just when hope seems fragile, the Derby delivers another charge from the clouds. In 2007, Street Sense stormed from last to first. Street Sense was delivered on February 23, 2004, at Chesapeake Farm. He shocked the Derby crowd 3 years later by storming from near last to first. His winning time was 2 minutes, 2.17 seconds, with Calvin Burrell riding for trainer Carl Nafziger and owner James Taffel. The colt had already made history as the first Breeders' Cup juvenile winner to capture the Roses. He earned more than $4.38 million in just 13 starts. Street Sense retired in October 2007 and now stands at Darley's Jonabell Farm in Kentucky. His stud career produced stars like McKenzie and Maxfield, keeping his legacy alive. The next champion crushed rivals with raw muscle. 2008 belonged to Big Brown. Bay powerhouse, Big Brown stormed home in 2 minutes, 1.82 seconds to win the Derby. He arrived on April 10, 2005, in Kentucky and was bred by Montecuole Farms. Kent Desormeaux rode him for trainer Richard Dutro Jr. and owners IEAH Stables with Paul Pompa Jr. He won the Derby by nearly 5 lengths and later took the Preakness, securing the champion 3-year-old title. He finished his career with $3,614,500 over 8 starts. After standing at 3 Chimneys and New York's Duchess Views, he was pensioned and moved to Old Friends Retirement Farm in 2024. Fans can now visit this former champ in Georgetown, Kentucky. Dominance gave way to disbelief when one of the smallest runners stunned the world. The tiny Mind That Bird took the crown in 2009. He was so small, the crowd barely noticed him in the post parade. By sundown, the little bay gelding had blown the roof off Churchill Downs. Calvin Burrell dove him to the rail and sliced through mud, stopping the clock at 2:02.66 for a 50-to-1 shocker. Owners Double Eagle Ranch and Buena Suerte Equine, with trainer Benny Chip Woolley Jr., cashed in on the upset of a generation. His record closed at $2.23 million in earnings. Retired in 2010, Mind That Bird enjoys life at Double Eagle Ranch in New Mexico. Lightning had already struck, but another surprise was waiting in the mud. In 2010, Super Saver won the title. Mud was no problem for this hero. Super Saver came into the world on March 18, 2007, and was bred by Windstar Farm and trained by Todd Pletcher. Calvin Borel did what he does best, slipped to the rail and never looked back. They crossed the line in 2:04.45, giving Pletcher his very first Derby win. The colt earned over $1.8 million in just 9 starts before heading off to stud. He stood at Windstar and later shuttled between Australia and Argentina, and in 2019 moved to Turkey under the Turkish Jockey Club. From mudsplasher to globe-trotting stallion, his story traveled far. Rails and rain made stories until a turf-bred outsider shocked the dirt track's biggest stage. In 2011, Animal Kingdom shocked everyone at the dirt track. Few horses win the Derby with almost no dirt experience, but Animal Kingdom did just that. The tall horse was bred by Team Valor and trained by Graham Motion. John Velasquez took the reins and guided him to a 2 minutes, 2.04 seconds victory at 20-1 odds. It was Motion's first Derby horse and his first Derby win. Yet, Animal Kingdom didn't stop there. He ran second in the Preakness, came back from injuries, and later stormed home in the 2013 Dubai World Cup, pushing career earnings past $8.4 million. Retired from racing, he now stands at Shizunai Stallion Station in Japan, siring foals with global bloodlines. First-timers were celebrating, and then a cookie named Colt nearly devoured history. I'll Have Another claimed victory in 2012. Nobody expected the kid named after a cookie joke to rewrite history. I'll Have Another stormed to victory in the Kentucky Derby with a time of 2 minutes, 1.83 seconds. 2 weeks later, Mario Gutierrez guided him again to win the Preakness in 1 minute, 55.94 seconds for trainer Doug O'Neill and owner J. Paul Redham. He earned about $2.7 million before a tendon injury forced his Belmont scratch and retirement. Sold to Japan for around $10 million, he began stud duty at Big Red Farm, then returned stateside, standing in California before being pensioned in 2024. Today, he's living out his days at Old Friends Retirement Farm in Georgetown. Just as the fairy tale ended too soon, a steady comet carved through the slop. In 2013, Orb entered the Derby atmosphere. Orb arrived at Churchill Downs like a noble comet, calm, collected, and quietly confident. Orb was bred and owned by Stuart S. Janney III and Phipps Stable. He made his Derby run under jockey Joel Rosario with trainer Shug McGaughey calling the shots. On a sloppy track, he found the perfect stride and won the Derby in 2 minutes and 2 seconds and 89 hundredths, marking McGaughey's long-awaited first victory in the race. Followed big prep wins in the Fountain of Youth and Florida Derby, and left Orb with career earnings of $2.6 million over 12 starts. In 2021, he was sold to stand at Harras Cuatro Piedras in Uruguay, and now continues his legacy as a sire in South America. From Blue Blood Barns to Blue Collar Dreams, the Roses found their way to a fan favorite. California Chrome captured hearts in 2014. They called him the People's Horse. California Chrome, a flashy chestnut born February 18, 2011, was bred for just $2,000 and carried the dreams of working-class owners. With Victor Espinoza in the saddle and Art Sherman in his corner, he charged home to win the Derby in 2 minutes and 3.66 seconds. 2 weeks later, he ruled the Preakness in 1 minute, 54.84 seconds, coming within 1 Belmont of the Triple Crown. His story turned into one of racing's great fairy tales. With $14.75 million in career earnings, he retired as one of the richest in North America. Today, Chrome stands at stud after globe-trotting seasons in the US, Chile, and Japan. In 2023, he joined the Racing Hall of Fame. Fairy tales are dreamy, but the next runner delivered the ending fans had craved for decades. In 2015, American Pharoah ended a 37-year wait for the crown. Crowds waited 37 years for a Triple Crown. American Pharoah, a bay colt foaled on February 2, 2012, finally delivered. Bred in Kentucky by Ahmed Zayat, he was trained by Bob Baffert and ridden by Victor Espinoza. He won the Kentucky Derby, then the Preakness, and crushed the Belmont to seal his place in history. Still, he wasn't done. He stormed home in the Breeders' Cup Classic in 2 minutes, 0.07 seconds, completing racing's first Grand Slam. Along the way, he was part of some of the wildest race finishes fans had ever seen. His career earnings reached $8.65 million, and he was named Horse of the Year. Today, he lives at Ashford Stud in Kentucky, siring foals built for speed and power. History was sealed, but momentum kept rolling with a colt who refused to lose. The 2016 winner was Nyquist. Ever seen a horse named after an NHL star make history? Nyquist did just that. Bred by Summerhill Farm, he was owned by J. Paul Redham and trained by Doug O'Neill. On a bright Kentucky Derby day, Mario Gutierrez guided him to victory in 2 minutes, 1.31 seconds, keeping his undefeated streak alive in just his 7th career start. That Derby win followed a stunning juvenile campaign, including a Breeders' Cup Juvenile Triumph and Eclipse Award in 2015. Nyquist lifted his career earnings to an impressive $5.19 million across 11 starts. After racing, he retired to stud duty at Darley's Jonabell Farm in Kentucky, commanding a $40,000 stud fee in 2017. The unbeaten streak ended, but rain-soaked determination carried the Roses next. Always Dreaming took the crown in 2017. Rain fell, but Always Dreaming thrived. He was bred by Santa Rosa Partners. In the Derby, he charged home in 2 minutes, 3.59 seconds. John Velasquez rode with perfect timing, while Todd Pletcher trained for a group of excited owners. That win was the first Derby victory for Velasquez and Pletcher together. Always Dreaming also captured the Florida Derby. His career closed with earnings of $2.4 million from 9 starts. The Preakness ended his Triple Crown hopes. Retired to Windstar Farm, he sired runners like Saudi Crown before colic took his life in 2024. Everyone woke up to perfection as another stud took the Triple Crown next. In 2018, Justify seized the Triple Crown. Unbeaten, unstoppable, and unforgettable, Justify, a powerful chestnut stallion, made its mark in racing history. Bred in Kentucky by John Gunther, he raced for China Horse Club, Windstar, and Partners. Under trainer Bob Baffert, Mike Smith guided him through a sloppy Churchill Downs track to win the Kentucky Derby in 2 minutes, 4.20 seconds. He then battled through fog in the Preakness and sealed the Triple Crown with a Belmont victory. Justify retired after only 6 starts, all wins, with $3.8 million in earnings. Now at Ashford Stud in Kentucky, he sires foals for a $250,000 fee and entered the Racing Hall of Fame in 2024. Greatness stood tall, but controversy soon followed, leaving fans arguing long after the roses were draped. Amidst controversy, Country House was crowned the 2019 winner. 65-1 odds. That's how the chestnut stallion Nature House, scratch that, Country House stared down the Derby field. He didn't cross the line first, but after a steward's inquiry disqualified maximum security, he was named the winner in 2 minutes, 3.93 seconds. Jockey Flavian Pratt guided him. Trainer Bill Mott handled the strategy. Owners included Shields, McFadden, and Ellen J. Foxwoods. Country House retired shortly after, due to a suspensory ligament injury and laminitis. His career earnings totaled about $2.12 million. He began stud duty at Darby Dan Farm in Kentucky in 2021 for a fee of $7,500. The rulebook had been rewritten, but even an empty grandstand couldn't quiet the thunder next. Authentic won in 2020. Derby Day had no roaring crowd, But authentic brought the thunder. This bay colt bred by Peter Blum grabbed the lead and never let it go, powering home in 2 minutes, 0.61 seconds, to win the Kentucky Derby. John Velazquez rode for trainer Bob Baffert and a team of owners, including Spendthrift Farm and My Racehorse. That year, he also claimed the Breeders' Cup Classic, set a Keeneland track record at 1 minute, 59.60 seconds, and swept Horse of the Year and Champion 3-year-old titles. He retired with over $7.2 million in earnings. And today, he stands at Spendthrift Farm, passing on his speed to young foals. The silence of one Derby echoed, until delayed justice handed the crown to another. In 2021, Mandaloun won. No one cheered when he crossed the wire, but months later, Mandaloun was crowned the Derby King. He carried Judd Monte's colors for trainer Brad Cox and jockey Florent Giroux. He ran second in 2 minutes, 1.36 seconds, but after Medina Spirit's disqualification, the roses were his. Justice came late, but it made history, giving Cox his first Derby win. Mandaloun built a resume with victories in the Risen Star, Pegasus, and Haskell Stakes, and earned more than $3.3 million. Retired in 2022, he now stands at Judd Monte in Kentucky, siring foals with the fire of a delayed champion. Crowns on hold? Then chaos unfolded with one of the wildest upsets in racing history. The 2022 crown went to Rich Strike. At 80-1 odds, no one gave him a chance, but Rich Strike turned doubt into shock. The colt wasn't even in the Derby until a last-minute scratch opened the gate. With jockey Sonny Leon and trainer Eric Reed, he weaved through the field and stormed down the rail in 2 minutes, 2.61 seconds, pulling off the second biggest upset in Derby history. That single run made him a millionaire, pushing earnings past $2.5 million, and delivered first Derby wins for both rider and trainer. Retired in 2023, he now stands stud in New York, breeding the next generation of long shots. Long shots had stunned, but a rookie colt rewrote the script again. 2023 came, and Mage became the crown. If the 2023 Derby was pre-scripted, Mage rewrote it. This colt, bred by Grandview Equine, arrived with only 3 prior starts, and no juvenile races. Javier Castellano timed it perfectly and pushed Mage front and center, winning the Derby in 2 minutes, 1.57 seconds. He joined just 2 others, Justify and Apollo, as horses who won the Kentucky Derby without racing as 2-year-old. Mage's campaign earned $2.5 million, making him the top 3-year-old of the year. He retired in 2023 and now stands at Airdrie Stud in Kentucky, commanding a $25,000 stud fee. His first foal arrives in 2025, and breeders are already buzzing. History seemed steady, then a nose separated immortality from heartbreak. Mystik Dan won in 2024. The 150th Derby came down to inches. Mystik Dan edged Sierra Leone by the slimmest margin, with Forever Young right behind. The 3-way photo finish was the tightest Derby since 1947, and the crowd erupted. Jockey Brian Hernandez Jr. delivered the ride of his life for trainer Kenny McPeak, giving both their first Derby victory. Bred and owned by Lance Gassaway, Daniel Hamby, 4G Racing, and Valley View Farm, Mystik Dan has earned more than $4.5 million. In 2025, he snapped a losing streak by winning the Blame Stakes. Soon, he'll stand at Airdrie Stud to pass on his fire. A photo finish had fans gasping, but the very next year brought mud, might, and destiny. Through mud and mayhem, sovereignty reigned supreme in 2025. Godolphin's Bay, Colt sovereignty, turned wet chaos into pure glory. Foaled February 22, 2022, and trained by Hall of Famer Bill Mott. He surged through murky conditions to win the Derby in 2 minutes, 2.31 seconds. It was Mott's first time crossing the line first. After 2019's win came via disqualification, and a career milestone for Venezuelan jockey Junior Alvarado. Sovereignty's pedigree is rich, blending into Mischief and Bernardini lines, with Triple Crown winners in the mix. He followed the Derby with a commanding Belmont win in 2 minutes, 0.69 seconds, giving him over $5.1 million in earnings. Now, he's priced as Saratoga's Travers Stakes favorite and prepped to become a top stallion prospect. And that's a wrap on every Kentucky Derby winner since 2000, legends, long shots, and lasting legacies. Thanks for riding along, but don't go far. Our next video dives into the greatest racehorses to ever grace our planet. Hit play, you don't want to miss it.